guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be talking all about Invisalign and just some things I've learned through my experience with it and how it's been for me. So yeah, here's pretty much everything that I know about Invisalign that I could share with you. So to start off, what is Invisalign? So Invisalign are clear plastic trays that give the same result as braces with wires, except for the fact that you just can't see them. So that's one of the reasons why I picked Invisalign, was because they're completely clear and no one can tell that you have braces. You don't have all these like wires and brackets in your mouth. So that is why I picked Invisalign. So this is what the trays look like. This was last week's tray and I just put in a new tray today. So they are currently in my mouth, but this is what they look like. This is my top teeth set and then this is my bottom teeth set. So before we completely go and talk about Invisalign, I just wanted to mention this one thing. What's really popular right now is Smile Direct Club, and this isn't to bash them in any way. So Smile Direct Club kind of offers exactly what Invisalign offers, except for the fact that their prices are much cheaper, which is why a lot of people go for it. I had asked my orthodontist when I went for a consultation, saying that a lot of people who do end up going with Smile Direct Club, because not everything is being examined in your mouth, people end up getting straight teeth, but their bites end up shifting, or it just ends up like ruining like something that was already good in their mouth just for the fact of getting straight teeth. And so then those people have to go back to an orthodontist and they end up having to pay another $1,000 just to fix what Smile Direct Club changed about their teeth. So I just wanted to give a disclaimer that I would definitely recommend going to an actual orthodontist who can see your teeth and consult with you and just go with your weekly visits just so they can stay on top of things. How does Invisalign work? Invisalign, what you do when you go to an orthodontist is your orthodontist will scan your mouth and then they will send those scans to Invisalign and they will 3D print out your trays. So like I said, these are what your trays look like, and you'll get your trays and then your orthodontist will then decide if you do weekly or every other week changes. So I change every week, so that's just little tiny weekly changes where your teeth are slowly moving to get your perfect straight teeth. I wanted to talk to you guys about attachments. So attachments are small tooth-like dots that are kind of glued to your teeth. What attachments do is they kind of help the Invisalign trays grip your teeth a little bit better, and they're just going to help with the movements going along. Another thing about attachments is they kind of feel like little pebbles in your mouth. It feels a little bit weird, but of course when you put the trays back in, they totally feel normal, like you don't even really feel that. So another thing I wanted to mention is a lisp. So a lot of people are like, oh, do you get like lisps when you have your trays in? Probably like the first week you have a lisp, but then afterwards your mouth kind of just gets used to having that in there and you don't really have a lisp. Like I have it in right now and I'm talking perfectly normal as I have always talked, I guess. Is Invisalign painful? Sometimes not. For me, it's more so just like a soreness. I wouldn't say that it's like excruciating pain. I do weekly changes. It really depends on how often. If you change every other week, you have more time for your teeth to adjust. I change every week, so it's like your teeth are constantly moving. For me, it's just a little bit of a soreness, like if I were to have like crunchy potato chips or sandwich that's like toasted or something like that. Sometimes when you first bite into it, those first couple bites, they're a little bit tender, but I wouldn't say it's so sore where you can only have soft foods like yogurt and applesauce and things like that. It also depends on how sensitive your teeth are and also what your teeth are like starting out. So my teeth starting out weren't very like bad in general. I just had a little bit of crookedness on the bottom and the top, so it wasn't very painful for me. But some people have teeth that are very crooked or their teeth are just really sensitive, so that could also play into like the pain factor. Another thing that I wanted to mention with pain, sometimes like the top of the trays or like the bottom can rub against your gums and it can cause like discomfort and you'll kind of get like irritation. Just like let your orthodontist know the next time you're in that they're kind of rubbing and they could file it down for you or clip whatever is irritating your gums. So a popular thing that you may hear about Invisalign is the Invisalign Diet. People who have Invisalign joke about it because you're supposed to have your trays in 22 hours out of the day just to ensure that it's moving. Like if you have young kids who are probably like let's say middle school. I wouldn't recommend Invisalign for younger kids simply because it's a lot of being like diligent about making sure your trays are always in. People always joke about the Invisalign diet because you really don't get to snack, and I am a huge snacker, so that was a really big adjustment for me. Like, let's say you just ate breakfast, lunch is still like a little ways away. You do get hungry, so it's not as easy to just pull out a snack and start munching. You have to take out your trays, put them away, rinse them off, things like that. And then when you're done eating, you have to go to the bathroom, wherever you're at. You have to find somewhere to brush your teeth, floss, and rinse your mouth out, because you don't really want to put the tray back into your mouth if you kind of have food in there. Number one, it might deter how your teeth move if you have stuff between your teeth, and also you want to kind of not have plaque buildup, because if that stuff sits in your trays, which sits on your teeth, it's not always good to do that. Another thing with Invisalign and the Invisalign diet is you can only drink something that's like a clear liquid. So I usually just strictly drink water throughout the day. If I want to have like an iced coffee or a tea, you have to take it out because those things can stain, and I kind of feel like, what's the point of having Invisalign if you're going to stain your trays and make them more visible? I do have to say though that my trays aren't always in 22 hours out of the day. Like, let's say you're at like a 4th of July party, and you know how there's just food all day long. They have like appetizers, and then you have burgers, and then you have dessert, and then they just leave the food out and you can just kind of munch all day. Things like that. Sometimes my trays will be out for like a good portion of the day. Just make sure that you make up for it the next day by keeping them in really long. Just not like all the time. If your like trays are out like for 5-6 hours every single day, and you're not really keeping them in your mouth, teeth just aren't going to move as fast. So it just really depends on how fast you want to get through your treatment. That being said, with the Invisalign diet, when you're out like at a restaurant or somewhere, you're always going to have to carry some kind of like purse, or if you're a guy, like a backpack or something like that, because when you're done eating, you have to put those trays back in your mouth. I carry a little pouch in my purse. It just has my Invisalign carry case, and I also have floss and a toothbrush and a little mini toothpaste, just so I can go to the bathroom really quick, brush my teeth, and get all the stuff out of my mouth, and then put my trays back in. It's sometimes a little awkward that like every time you eat, it's not always convenient to like use the bathroom right after. Yeah, so you always kind of have to have a purse with you. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Sometimes it's like you just ate and then you see someone in there snacking and you're like, wow, I would really like to eat Doritos with you, but you can't because you don't really feel like brushing your teeth again since you just brushed them like an hour ago. Kind of a pain, but you do get used to it, and you know what? It's just a sacrifice you have to make in order to have a perfect smile. So, taking out your trays can be a little tough sometimes, especially if you just put on a new tray. Sometimes they're a little more snug to your mouth. They're very like tight feeling. So it's not really something you could do indiscreet. When I just had my bottom ones, I was able to kind of turn and pop them really quick, but now that you have the top ones, you have to kind of take them out a little differently. That being said, if you have long nails, right now my nails are not looking the best, so don't really look at them, but it helps if you kind of have a little bit of length to your nails. That way it kind of gives you a little bit to like pop them out with. I wouldn't recommend taking your trays out when you're at a nice restaurant or when you're in the room with someone quiet, because you can hear the clicking of the trays with the attachments. You can kind of hear it, and then also you have like the saliva that's in your mouth that can sometimes be pulled with the trays. It's just not something that you would want to do when you're in front of a bunch of people, so definitely make sure you have a bathroom nearby or somewhere where you can kind of, excuse me, and go around the corner and, I don't know, take out your trays, because it can get a little weird. So another thing that I wanted to cover with Invisalign is cleaning them. I would definitely recommend cleaning your trays somehow, because having them in your mouth all the time can make them really gross and really smelly. Invisalign, when you first get it, they may give you like a little kit with some cleaning salts in them, or crystals they call them. I did try the crystals, noticed that there was kind of like a chemically taste on the trays, and I didn't like the taste, so instead I have these things called Effordent. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. I got this big box from BJ's. It just comes in a huge box, 126 tablets. This is what it looks like. So you take the tablet and you dissolve it in a container of warm water, and then I take out my trays and I rinse them off, and then I just drop them right in. Usually I'll do that every single morning, and then I'll go eat breakfast, and so while I'm eating breakfast, those can kind of soak and get clean, and then I will brush my teeth, and then usually I'll pull them out of like the cleaning solution, and I'll just kind of rinse them, and then I'll take my toothbrush and brush them. It's also great because there's no aftertaste. I've soaked them for an hour and put them back in my mouth, and it's then totally fine. You don't taste any sort of chemicaliness. They just kind of taste clean. You can literally leave your trays in overnight. When I do my old trays, I like to soak them for probably like an hour just to really clean them. Another thing that I mentioned is, yes, I still have my old tray. When I went to the orthodontist, my orthodontist said to keep all your trays. So I still have the designated pouches that they come in, and I just save them in their little boxes and just keep them, because they said if in the future, let's say you don't keep on top of your retainer that you're supposed to wear at nighttime, your teeth start to shift, because your teeth are always going to want to move back to where they were. They said just hold on to your trays. Your teeth start to shift again, you could just find a tray that fits and just follow through with Invisalign, like your treatment, until your teeth are straight again, and then you could just wear your retainer again at night, which I thought was really cool that they said that. Another thing that I recommend just pointing out to you guys, when you do take your Invisalign trays out, I would recommend putting them in a designated case. This is my case. It's from Invisalign. Just make sure you put them in this or put them in a little cup when you eat. I have a specific little container that I just put by the sink when I eat. That way everyone knows that those are my trays, because sometimes if you wrap them in a napkin, people could see it in a napkin and think, oh, that's just garbage, and throw it out, and then that's not good. So just make sure you always put them in a case or a container or something like that so they don't get thrown away accidentally. So one final thing that I wanted to mention about the whole Invisalign thing is teeth filing. So if you guys have watched other Invisalign videos, people have talked about their different experiences with it. So teeth filing is basically like the thinnest little sandpaper type strip, and they basically put it between your teeth and they file back and forth. But basically what they're doing is filing down your teeth on both sides, so it gives your teeth more room to like move. Another thing that sometimes they have to do, they have to get an electric file for some like more like power, I guess. Like brought up that I was like really nervous it was gonna hurt, and he's like, it shouldn't be painful at all for you. And I was like, oh, okay. He did it all across my top teeth and all across my bottom teeth. People have said that the little sandpaper doesn't hurt, but the electric file does. For me, neither of them hurt at all. The sound is really weird, just not a pleasant sound having like your teeth sawed down. It's like hearing nails on a chalkboard. Your gums will bleed a lot because they are going close to the gums and it kind of irritates them. But other than that, the pain for me was not painful at all. It was just a little like weird to sit there and listen to them like sawing back and forth. So that is all that I have to say about Invisalign. I hope I was able to cover some things. For me, the experience has been amazing, and I would recommend Invisalign to anyone. If you guys have any more questions or concerns about Invisalign that I didn't happen to cover in this video, I'll link all of my social medias down below. Feel free to DM me, just asking a question that you guys may have had about Invisalign. So yeah, that is really all that I have to say. I really hope it was helpful to you guys. Maybe it helped you. Definitely decide if you're doing Invisalign. I know watching videos for myself really helped me decide if I was going with Invisalign or not. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! So before I go, I just wanted to show you guys exactly how I take out the trays. I'm saving it for the last because I know some people get really grossed out by having like saliva and stuff show, but I'm just going to show you guys how I take it out for those of you who were probably wondering. So for the bottom, what my orthodontist recommended was taking your thumbs like this and popping out the back first. That is the easiest way to get them out. So usually I just kind of go like this. And then you kind of have to go so there's not like all this saliva. It's really gross. I'm sorry. So that is how I take out the bottom ones. And then for the top, you can't really pop them out from the top like you would do from the bottom. So then I take my pointer fingers and I just go like this. You kind of have to hook it under. And then you can pull from the top. That is how you take out the top and the bottom Invisalign trays. That is the most discreet way that I could show you guys. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to show you guys super quick. And yeah, I hope it was helpful. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Bye!